Alright, here we go. Metroid Dread, unrestricted, any percent. Time starts when you hit continue. So we begin the run Artaria. And something that needs to be known is that these red blobs here, when you blow them up, alter the terrain so that you can gain access to other areas. Here we have an atom room. So atom rooms are a waste of time. We usually mash through the text. But we're going to find a way to get rid of atom rooms entirely going forward. We've also got cutscenes in this game. Most of them will be skipping. This one we can't. It teaches you how to take a parry. And we're coming up to our first glitch, pseudo-wave shot. So I'm shooting this blob from the other side of the terrain. Normally I can't do this, but we're doing that to gain faster access to other areas. So here's another pseudo-wave shot. This one's a bit trickier to get. Got one shot. I only need two. Sorry. There we go. And we're coming up to the first hard trick of the game, the EMMI bump. So we're trying to find a way to get a charge beam early, or earlier than what you would normally do with playthrough of the game. To do that, we're going to go up to that ledge on the top left over there, and we have to manipulate the enemy's movements in such a way that we can bump off of it in order to grab it. So it's a pretty tough trick, and it's also RNG dependent. Just need to get the movement right. Ah. Okay, perfect. So I was saying it was RNG dependent because the parry window for the EMMIs is extremely quick. You can't react to it. You just have to sort of hope that you get the right parry time, a parry time that you're comfortable with. And the reason I had to take that parry is because otherwise this door won't be open. And the reason the door won't be open is because the first time you meet that enemy, you're actually in a special cutscene. So either you go where the game wants you to go, which we don't want to do, or you take the parry. So I actually got out of EMMI bump pretty quickly, which is good. And now we have the charge beam. So we skipped quite a bit of Artaria on our way to the charge beam, thanks to the EMMI bump. And the EMMI bump is also what's going to keep us away from talking to Adam too much. What's wrong with my missile inputs? Here we're going to pick up an E-tank. It's the only E-tank we're going to pick up in the run, out of a possible 12. Much cleaner climb than the first one. We're going to come up to our first boss here. Just jump there. First boss is Corpius. There's nothing particularly remarkable about the Corpius fight. Just you can damage him with missiles or charge shots, but missiles are more efficient. Scorpius can render himself invisible. So you have to sort of guess where the head is, either from the animations or because you know where it is. Okay, that was not a bad Scorpius fight for me. So we just got the Phantom Cloak. So the Phantom Cloak is what is going to allow us to turn temporarily invisible. And that's going to be super useful for some tricks coming up. For example, cloak sliding. You normally go slowly when you're cloaked, but if you cloak right after sliding, you can keep the at least the slide momentum. Saves a bit of time. Next order of business, we're going to go kill the EMMI. So that white robot that was chasing us around, there are several of those. They're not white. Not all of them are white. But we're going to go kill it now. And it's also going to give us power. So here we're talking to Adam again. And this is normally the last time we're talking to Adam. And the reason for that is because since we did the EMMI bump, that hard trick at the beginning, we're going to break the atom sequence, and the game doesn't know what to do with the atom rooms with a broken atom sequence, so it just lets us right through without forcing us to talk to the network station. All right, EMMI fights. EMMI fights are in two phases. First, you find the central unit, so that's a room somewhere in the general area. And you kill the central unit, and the central unit's going to give you temporary access to a kind of beam that's really just used to kill the enemy. So the Omega Stream first, which used to break off the enemy's faceplate, and then the Omega Blaster, which finishes it off. So let's see if I can get a fast enemy kill here. Alright, that's one EMMI down. The white EMMI. And the white EMMI is going to give us a power. The spider magnet, which allows us to climb up certain walls and certain ceilings. So the walls in question are blue surfaces. So we're on our way out of Artaria to go to the next area of the game. And I'm going to be attempting in a few rooms here damage boosts to get through certain rooms quicker. I'm going to be damage boosting off of an enemy that's actually the one that I just killed. Or trying to, because damage boosts are quite fickle in this game, so if I don't get it, it's not a big deal. Let's see if I can pull this off. Ah, got it, so that's good. Now we're on our way to Cataris. Cataris is the fire area of the game. And in Catarus, we're going to be seeing our first major glitch. So fire area of the game also means superheated rooms, which means that certain rooms will do damage to Samus if she doesn't have a certain suit upgrade, which we don't have yet. And here's Catarus, which also has an EMMI. That EMMI will be useful for glitch purposes. Alright, that's an Atom room, and we're not talking to Atom. Anytime we need an Atom room now, we're just going to zip right through it. Up, I'm going to be attempting another damage boost, just to go through another room a little bit faster. Again, if I don't get it, it's not a big deal. It's definitely not a major glitch. Yep, not going to get it. Really having a problem with my fist buttons. Farm this guy. Farm some health. No, I don't have enough health to do the hell run. That's alright. There's a hell run you can do just above this room. That's a little bit faster than going through this, but don't want to risk the death. Alright. So now we're going to meet our second green EMMI. But we're not going to go through the EMMI area just yet. We're going to instead try to get that red blob up there. And to do that, we need a very special type pseudo-wave shot called the seam pseudo that we can only do with missiles. So we get 4 missile shots on that red blob. Got 1. Two. Come on. Oh, come on. 3. Come on, just one more. And we're through. There we go. That was a bit tedious, but we got through it. Now we're going to come up to our next major, to the first major glitch, which is called the EMMI warp. And the EMMI warp is not... How can I explain it? When you enter an EMMI room, an EMMI will spawn in different locations. In one of multiple locations at random. And the idea of the EMMI warp is we're going to try to manipulate the EMMI in such a way that we're going to force it to respawn. And... Just get out of the way. And we're going to force it to respawn at the same time that we get caught by it, and that's going to allow us to spawn with it in a room that we're not supposed to have access to at this point in the game. So here we go. Let's see if I can pull it off. Unfortunately, the EMMI warp, like the EMMI bump, also depends on randomness, because it depends on where the EMMI spawns when you force it to respawn. So hopefully we get the good warp from the get-go. That's a bad warp, so I'm just going to reload to the last checkpoint. There are checkpoints in this game, so that's useful because it doesn't mean you need to stop at another save. So it counts as a game over, but it's not a big deal. This could take 1 try or it can take 10 tries. It's really up to the game. Where we're trying to go is exactly where it's spawning when we enter here. So. We got the second bad spawn, so we have to reload again. Oof, there we got the frog in the well spawn. That's usually pretty annoying to get, but luckily it went in the right direction. Depending on where it spawns initially, there are different setups to make it do this movement here. We have to get caught by it in a room transition. Ah, there we go. Good warp. All right, now I have to do the parry. Got the parry. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the map. We were down here, and now we're up here. And that is a room that we do not have access to normally, unless we go to Dairon, the third area of the game, first, in order to get the wide beam. But we don't want to do that, because it means we have to... oh, come on. Doesn't matter. I wanted to blow up that blob, but it's much safer to just go straight into the essentially unit fight. Yeah, so in order to gain access to this room, you have to pick up the, you have to navigate through all of Eastern Cataris in order to go to Dairon. In Dairon, you pick up the wide beam, and then you go back to Cataris to gain access to this room, but we all know speedrunners hate backtracking, so we're not going to do that. That messed up. That's alright. It's probably because the blob wasn't blowing up, but I can still get the enemy kill. Normally what you do in our speedrun is you blow up that blob from the other side using pseudo-wave shots. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to waste the EMMI warp. If you get caught by the EMMI and you game over, you have to do the EMMI warp again, and I really do not want to risk doing that. Anyway, we killed the EMMI, we're getting its power up, and its power up is the morph ball. But morph ball Metroid runners are quite accustomed to getting it early in the game, so it was a bit of a shock when you don't get it early in this game. Start wondering if you missed it or something in a normal playthrough. I'm going to be picking up a few extra missile packs for safety, because some boss fights I might have some ammo trouble if I don't pick up some extra ammo along the way. Alright, so now that we have the morph ball, we can go through morph tunnels, like these ones, and we can go get a very useful item in Artaria. So this is the red teleporter. It's going to take us to Artaria. Sorry. Alright, so now we're on our second trip to Artaria, and here we're gonna go use our newly acquired weapon, or ability I should say, to go through a morph tunnel up here. Oh, jeez. In order to pick up an item. So we have a kind of volcano sequence here where you have to get to the top of this chamber before everything around you becomes superheated. Which kind of hints at what kind of power-up you're supposed to get at the end of this. Now, normally I have the wide beam to do all of this, since I'm supposed to get the wide beam before getting the morph ball. But we don't have the wide beam, so it's a little bit less non-trivial. It's a little bit less trivial to get to blow up certain blocks. Yeah. Now we have the Varia suit. Varia suit, classic Varia suit. Don't take damage in heat rooms and less damage from enemies, which is useful. So as you can see, all of these rooms have become superheated. Now we're on our way back to Cataris, from whence we came. The next order of business in Cataris is going to fight a boss that a lot of people know. He's big, he's green. We call him the evil green time waster. And he's the reason I need to pick up a few missile packs. I need to pick up a few missile packs along the way. Here's Kraid. Kraid is a two-phase fight. First you pump him with missiles, and I have to be careful that I don't use up too much ammo without farming it. Do some farming here. I'm already out of missiles. Alright, there we go. Second phase. Alright, I'm trying to get to that magnet up there, and there are several ways to do it. Either you can, this is a terrible fight, that's alright. And eventually, there we go. Either you can count on Kraid RNG to... Again, this is bad. This is a really bad pattern. Alright, deal with it. So you can get some missiles back. Wow, only 2 packs. That's pretty bad. That's alright. So anyway, I tricked the game. I'm not supposed to be able to wall jump in this game, but I tricked the game into wall jumping by using the morph ball. Normally the game will not allow you to go back towards a wall after you bounced off of it in a normal spin jump. But if if you morph in midair, the game forgets this ability. So that was a terrible Kraid fight, but it doesn't matter, we got through it. And the reward for the Kraid fight is the diffusion beam. So diffusion beam, it's hard to kind of explain, but basically when you release a charge shot into a wall, it creates a bunch of little mini explosions in that wall that allow you to sort of damage stuff in the wall a little bit deeper into the wall. So now that we're done with Kraid, we've got our diffusion beam. We still don't have wide beam, and we're going to remedy that right now because we're taking our first trip to Dairon. And in a normal playthrough of this game, or in a no major glitches playthrough of this game, this would probably be your second trip to Dairon. But we skipped one trip. But we're not skipping wide beam, we need it. There are wide beam specific doors that we need to get open. Dairon is kind of the laboratory themed area of the game. And one of the gimmicks of Dairon is you have to turn on the lights. I don't know why I meleeed there, but it doesn't matter. And you just turn on the lights on these stations here. We're going to see another one of these a bit later. We're finally getting the wide, which Super Metroid runners will be calling the spazer, I suppose. So normally the game wants you to go blow up that wide beam door at the bottom there, but we don't need to do that because we have morph. So we're going to go straight down here, which is what you're supposed to do in your second trip to Dairon, not in your first. Oops. Oh, come on. Another Atom. Goodbye, Atom. Alright, so the EMMI warp has a kind of second side effect, which is really nice. We just entered another EMMI area, the EMMI area of Dairon. And the Dairon EMMI is kind of a pain to deal with. But it turns out that because we didn't go through the cutscene that activates him, since we skipped the first trip to Dairon. We didn't activate it at all, so he doesn't bother us in this sequence of the game. Alright, here I'm trying to do a pseudo-wave shot with missiles to hit a red blob that is not visible on the other side. It's a finicky pseudo-wave, but it saves us the time of navigating through a bunch of rooms. The objective being to turn the power on again. The pseudo-waves with missiles are generally harder than the pseudo-waves with just with beams. It's not really known why, but alright, now we're gonna go pick up another staple of Metroid games. We have the morph ball, now we have the morph bombs. So the bombs are pretty classic. They blow up bomb blocks. They will damage enemies. Here in this game, they can shoot through these little tunnels here. We can do infinite bomb jumps as well, which is going to come in handy for a trick later. Oops. Oh my god, I keep grabbing ledge. Alright, we're going to the fourth area of the game, Burenia. In Burenia, we're going to be picking up the first of the 3 items that we need to activate a whole other class of nature glitches, let's say. And the first of these items is called the flash shift. It's worth explaining a bit how it contributes to the major glitches later. We're going to be doing things called shine sinks, and to do a shine sink, we have to use a flash shift that turns into a slide and that you turn around in a corner in a corner against a wall. So we need the flash shift to activate the next category of major glitches. And we're going to pick up the flash shift using infinite bomb jumps. Now, Burenia is a water area, and in water, Samus moves significantly more slowly without a suit upgrade. So you have to sort of manipulate enemies and time your movement properly, unlike what I just did, in order to move efficiently through the water. And the infinite bomb jump trick that we're going to be seeing is going to allow us to not have to go through an entire water area. Oops. That's alright. Oh, please. Movement is awful. Oh my god, come on! That's just the worst segment I've ever had. Alright, infinite bomb jumps. Let's see if I can get at least this. Not my best Burenia. Oh, almost. There we go. So that's a pressure plate. If you're standing on it, it closes the door, but if you stay above it long enough, the door eventually opens. The geometry of the location makes it quite tricky to oh my god. Coming up, we're going to be doing a couple of pseudo-wave shots on red blobs that are not visible from here. There we go, that blew up one red blob. The second one down here. Just need to get the angle right. Got it. My tricks are going better than my movement today. There, what I just did is also a glitch. It's called a water bomb jump. Oops, overshot a bit. Water bomb jumps are quite easy to activate. You're not supposed to be able to gain height with bomb jumps, or not too much height with bomb jumps in water. But if you allow yourself to be propelled up by a bomb jump on the ground and unmorph before she lands, then for some reason a flag fails to get reset by the game, and you can propel yourself with one bomb in the air a little bit further, which allows you to grab that ledge without having to do additional water navigation. So now we're leaving Burenia. And our next objective is to kill the yellow EMMI. We haven't even met yet, but we're gonna meet. So as you can see, the flash shift is quite useful to go a little bit faster. You can chain up to 3 shifts in a row, and getting good flash chains is pretty much key to having a good speed run. So the pattern for killing EMMIs is the same as usual. We kill the central unit, and then we're going to kill the EMMI itself. So the EMMI here spawns in one location as soon as you leave this room, and that's good because it makes the kill pretty easy. It's probably intentionally done this way because the yellow EMMI's super fast. And so if you don't get the kill, you probably will die. Now, since yellow EMMI is super fast, accordingly, what the yellow EMMI will give you is the speed booster, our second major ingredient for major glitches. So we're pretty close to being able to do all the major glitches we need to finish the game, or to complete the run, let's say. Speed booster in this game is really cool because you can keep it through spin jumps, you can keep it through slides, you can keep it through wall jumps, and of course you can store shine sparks. Shine sparks also have the interesting property that if you shine spark into a slope, it turns into a speed boost again. And that's going to be very useful in a certain spot. Anyway, now what we're going to do is we're going to go pick up the last ingredient we need for major glitch activation. The grapple beam. I'm going to go ahead and say right now what the grapple beam allows us to do because it makes things a little bit easier for explanation purposes. The game will kill you anytime it detects you're out of bounds. But if the grapple beam animation is running, for some reason the game doesn't check anymore if you're out of bounds. So we're going to be using the grapple beam in conjunction with the flash shift and the speed booster in order to survive clipping techniques. There are other clipping techniques that don't use the grapple beam, but without grapple you're quite severely limited in your clipping abilities. Grapple is in Artaria, so we have to make another visit here. My general movement is absolute trash today, but it doesn't matter. Alright, before we go any further, I'm going to take a safety save. This is going to be useful because in case something goes wrong with the major glitches, it's just good to have the save. Alright, now we're going to pick up the Bomuhey skew. Alright, did I get it? Yes, I got it. Alright, so the Bomuhey skew is the cornerstone major glitch of this game, because it allows you to lock Samus in unintended orientations along the y-axis, like so. There we go, finally. So now you can, as you can see, she's facing the camera, and with every swipe that I'm taking, she's slowly clipping into the structure. And we can finish the clip with a shine spark. Here we're going to try to get past this block by doing a pseudo-wave with the grapple beam. And we want to go down. So let's change Samus's orientation a bit. And go through the floor. So as you can see, I'm charging shine sparks in very short distances, even on single tiles, using the Bomuhey skew. And I'm using the flash shift to flash turn around slide into corners in order to activate shine sinks. And this is what creates Bomuhey skew in part, but it's also what allowed me to clip into the floor there. I'm going to do a different kind of clip called the neutral jump clip. There we go. Am I far enough into the wall? That should be enough, but let's see. Let's do a map buffer for safety. No, that was not far enough. What about now? Maybe one more frame in advance. And that should do it. Okay. Got it. Alright, good. So, as you can imagine, we're basically going to be clipping our way through a lot of stuff here. So earlier I said we could turn shine sparks, oh my god, I'm like stuck on these angles, into speed boosts on slopes. And that's very useful to get up this shaft here. Alright, so we just picked up the screw attack, which is a super powerful item that normally you get quite a bit later in this game. The reason we pick it up in this playthrough is because breaking screw attack blocks makes getting to the end just so much more easier. So coming out of this warp, we're also going to take another safety save because there's one movement that I can't do lest it'll make me lose the Bomuhey skew state, which is very persistent across many things. You can keep it across deaths, you can keep it across changing save files, provided you don't turn off the game. You can keep it along reloads to checkpoints. But there's a very easy to do movement, which is basically a neutral spin in midair that will make you lose it. And there are only a few spots where you can actually re-pick it up. So it's more convenient to just save here in order to have a convenient spot to pick up bomb skew again at a later point in time. Even if this means doing a little bit of backtracking. Alright, so now we're on our way to Ghavoran, which is the 6th area of the game, but the 5th one we're visiting. Actually, I don't know if the game has area numbers, but I would say in a normal playthrough it's the 6th area. A few things about Bomuhey skew. It got its name from a runner that stumbled upon it by accident, and since then it's been refined into real tech, so it's really cool. So here I have to play a little bit more conservatively because going down these tunnels is a really, really good spot to lose bomb skew without even noticing. And let's hope I don't lose it on its use right here. Okay, good. I got that first try. Oh, please. That's a little bit disappointing, but at least we got through. Alright, so as we've noticed, not all structures are clipped the same way. So where in a normal playthrough you would go fight a boss here, which is in the tunnel at the bottom here, we're going to clip through this one-way door instead. And we got a bad clip angle, so we have to start over. Here we're using a mini tornado technique. So what mini tornado does is it adjusts Samus's skew angle just a little bit, so that she can actually progressively move into the structure. And here I'm going to go through by buffering grapple, and there we go. So in case you missed it, we just blasted through some screw attack blocks. So there we already have a good example of why picking up screw attack is a good idea, because it avoids having to waste time clipping through another door. There are tons of screw attack blocks in the final area of the game. There do exist minimum item runs in Unrestricted where you don't pick up screw attack, but they are significantly more difficult to do than this run. The clip tech in this game is really amazing. So this is another Atom room, but we're going to take another safety save here. Because again, I don't want to end up in a situation where I might get soft blocked in a spot where I can't pick up the Bomuhey skew again if I need to. Alright, the game wants us to go through the door at the bottom. We're going to go through this door up here. Good, got that first try. I stress, without grapple, those clips will kill you. So we have another door to clip through here, but this door, for reasons that are not going to get into really, is significantly easier to clip through. Just sort of hop through after sliding. We're now getting to some pretty critical parts of the game. We're going to go through this wall. This is the hardest clip of the run. I'm going to do a neutral jump clip here, but what's annoying is we have enemies spawning in the wall all the time. It's also annoying that I'm not getting the angle that I want. Ah, finally. So how far in the wall am I? If I do one more frame advance, it might kill me, but if I don't, I'm not far enough in, so I have no choice but to try and do one more frame advance. Good. That's perfect. Map buffer for safety, and we are now entering a boss fight. So the reason we can't get into that room is because we skipped getting the wave beam, and that was a wave beam door. I should recap what we skipped, but I'll do that after this boss fight, which is a very hard boss fight, because anything that he does to me kills me in one hit. So I have to focus here. In case you're wondering, I'm a terrible masher, but I mean, it's pretty obvious. Anywho, while we go through this cutscene, which is going to give us power bombs, I can tell you how much stuff we skipped. So we have 1 E-tank out of a possible 12. Since we went really quickly through Ghavoran, we didn't fight 4 bosses, we didn't pick up super missiles, we didn't pick up ice missiles, we didn't pick up spin boost or cross bombs. We didn't go to Elon, an area of the game which is a major plot point of the game, because that is where we released the X-Parasites. So we never released the X-Parasites. And we didn't go to Burenia to pick up the wave beam. And finally, we also did not go to Burenia to pick up the gravity suit. So we are super underpowered. And so you might be wondering, how do you actually fight the final boss, Ravenbeak, when you're this underpowered? And the answer is, we're going to try to not fight the final boss. We're going to try to go to the post-final boss cutscene first, instead. And to do that, I have to do a pretty hard clip here into the floor. And I didn't get it. I lost the skew. That's alright, I can get up here. I can recover it here. Good. Not sinking again. If I get the right angle. That's a bummer. Did I open up the ceiling there? Yes, I did. Alright, I need an extra power bomb so I can blow those up. Okay. There we go. So what am I doing here? I'm actually partially loaded the escape sequence. And normally you go through the escape sequence after beating RBX, which is a post-final boss cutscene. The thing about RBX is, normally you fight RBX with the Hyper Beam, which is the beam that Raven gives you when you kill him. But we don't have the Hyper Beam, so we're going to have to mash our way through this guy. And it feels a bit like RNG, because the only known way to kill him is to hit him after having done sufficient amount of damage on a very specific frame. And the only known way to hit that frame is to mash and hope that you get it. And we got it. First try. This is good. because I don't want to have to do that clip again. Alright, so for safety reasons, I have to reload the last checkpoint here. It'll avoid me to be killed by some ghost powerbomb blocks that are further at the end of escape. And it reloads us here, which is good, so I don't have to fight RBX again. Now, we don't have the hyper beam, as I was saying, so we're happy we killed RBX, but now we have to get through the escape sequence without the hyper beam. And note all the screw attack blocks that we have here. But again, back to the hyper beam. Not having the hyper beam means we have to actually clip our way out of this place. Time is going to be coming up soon. And that's time. So that is Metroid Dread, 90% unrestricted. It is a total clip fest, which showcases some really fantastic tech. Unfortunately, the movement was pretty suboptimal, but that doesn't really matter. We got to see all the tech, and that's what's fun. It's interesting to see these cutscenes when Samus doesn't have the suit she's supposed to be wearing. Anyway, we can skip the rest of this. Skip the credits. And I probably got like a 58 or something, which is an awful time, but it doesn't matter.